Have you ever sat down to study, only to find your mind wandering after just a few minutes? Maybe you're flipping through your textbooks, but instead of digesting the information, you're thinking about what's for dinner or reminiscing about a conversation you had earlier. This is a common struggle for students everywhere, especially in today's world, where distractions are more abundant than ever. But don't worry, this video will explore not only how to stay focused, but also how to transform your study habits entirely with 4 actionable tips. Now, before we dive into the methods, it's crucial to acknowledge that distractions aren't entirely bad. In fact, they're a part of human nature. The problem arises when distractions take over, leading to unproductive study sessions. Luckily, by implementing a few strategic changes, you can regain control over your concentration and elevate your study game. 1. Capture and understand your distractions. It's easy to tell someone to just focus, but the truth is, without understanding why you're losing focus, it's difficult to make lasting changes. One powerful technique to address this is writing down your distractions as they happen. It sounds simple, but the effects can be profound. Imagine you're studying for a big exam. You open your book, and within minutes, your mind drifts off. Maybe you're thinking about an upcoming event or a meal you're craving. Instead of pushing these thoughts away, try writing them down. For example, jot down thinking about lunch or replaying conversation with friends. This act of writing forces you to acknowledge your distraction consciously, pulling it out of the subconscious loop. Why does this work? By identifying the distractions, you're better equipped to handle them in the future. Over time, you might notice patterns. Are you always daydreaming about food? Or are your thoughts drifting to past experiences? Identifying these trends will help you be more mindful and stop these distractions before they take over. An example from my own experience. When I was preparing for my final exams, I realized that most of my distractions came from social media. Instead of simply scolding myself for being distracted, I wrote down every time I checked my phone. Soon, I noticed that these moments happened whenever I was working on particularly challenging material. This realization helped me understand that my phone wasn't the issue. It was my avoidance of the difficult topics. Once I tackled those topics head-on, my focus improved. 2. Remove distractions by addressing the triggers. The second tip is equally important, removing or minimizing distractions by handling the triggers. In our hyper-connected world, our devices are often the biggest culprits. Phones, laptops, and tablets are designed to grab our attention with constant notifications, and it's no surprise that many of us find it hard to resist the lure of social media or messaging apps. Think of your phone as a trigger. It doesn't actively distract you, you allow it to become a distraction. Every notification is like a nudge, tempting you to check it. The key here is to remove the trigger before it even has a chance to grab your attention. Be bold enough to remove distractions before you start studying. Place your phone in another room or turn off notifications. This may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to always having your phone nearby, but this small act of discipline can have a huge impact. I know this from personal experience. During my undergraduate years, I would always have my phone on my desk while studying. I justified it by saying, what if I need it for research? But let's be honest, most of the time, I wasn't using it for that. I was checking messages, scrolling through Instagram, or mindlessly browsing the web. It wasn't until I started leaving my phone in another room that I saw a significant boost in my focus. Of course, technology isn't all bad, and sometimes you do need your laptop or phone for research or study-related purposes. In those cases, discipline becomes essential. You have to be clear with yourself, I'm using this device for a specific purpose, and once that's done, I will close it. It's about building habits that protect your focus. 3. The power of short, focused study sessions. Long hours of uninterrupted study may sound productive, but they often lead to diminishing returns. You might think that studying for 2 or 3 hours straight is the best way to cram for an exam, but the truth is, your brain can only maintain focus for so long before it starts to tire. A better approach is to study in shorter, focused intervals. Many experts recommend using the Pomodoro technique, which involves working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. This allows your brain to rest and recharge between sessions, ensuring that each interval is productive. I once made the mistake of creating study schedules that involved hours of continuous reading and note-taking. By the end of those sessions, I was exhausted, and the material wasn't sticking as well as I'd hoped. When I switched to shorter intervals, I found that not only was I retaining more information, but I also felt less burnout. Here's how you can apply this method effectively. Break down your study material into smaller chunks and set a timer for 25 minutes. During that time, focus entirely on one topic or task. Once the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break, stretch, grab a snack, or even do a quick mindfulness exercise. After the break, dive back into another 25-minute session. This rhythm keeps your brain engaged without overwhelming it. 4. Incorporate meditation for mental clarity. The fourth and perhaps most transformative tip is to incorporate meditation into your study routine. This doesn't have to be an elaborate, time-consuming practice. Even a few minutes of mindful breathing can make a world of difference in calming your mind and improving your focus. Meditation helps clear mental clutter, which is often the root cause of distractions. By focusing on your breath, you train your mind to stay present, reducing the tendency to wander off into daydreams or anxieties. Over time, this practice can help you develop better concentration, not just during meditation but in all areas of your life, including studying. Before every study session, take a few minutes to sit quietly, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. You don't need to do anything complicated. Just pay attention to the sensation of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. This simple act of mindfulness can help center your thoughts and prepare your brain for the task at hand. I began incorporating meditation into my study routine during graduate school, and the results were astonishing. Not only did it improve my concentration, but it also reduced my anxiety around exams. By taking just 5 minutes before each study session to breathe and center myself, I found that I was able to approach my work with a clearer, more focused mind. Putting it all together. So, how can you apply these tips to your own study routine? Start by making small adjustments. Write down your distractions as they arise, and over time, you'll notice patterns that help you understand what triggers your wandering thoughts. Be brave enough to remove those triggers, whether that means leaving your phone in another room or closing unnecessary tabs on your computer. Break your study sessions into shorter intervals, and don't forget to take breaks to refresh your mind. Finally, try incorporating a bit of meditation into your routine. This doesn't have to be a major time commitment. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can have a powerful effect on your focus and clarity. The bigger lesson: control your mind, control your success. The tips outlined in this video aren't just about studying, they're about taking control of your mind. In a world filled with distractions, those who can master their focus are the ones who will succeed, not just in academics but in all areas of life. Learning how to focus is like building a muscle. It takes time, effort, and consistent practice, but the rewards are worth it. By following these 4 tips, you're not only improving your study habits, you're also developing the mental discipline that will serve you well in every aspect of your life. Remember, the key to success isn't necessarily working harder, but working smarter. By being mindful of your distractions, removing triggers, studying in short, focused intervals, and practicing meditation, you'll find that staying focused becomes less of a struggle and more of a habit. So, the next time you sit down to study, remember these strategies, and you'll see the difference.